all dictatorships. There's something you can learn there, and you don't need to be a genius. You don't need to be a genius to work it out.
Come on, let's have a laugh.
Tell me, why do all these Muslims want to get out of their Muslim countries and come live in the West? They come over to Britain, they come over to America, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Germany, Sweden, European Union, Spain. They don't go to other Muslim countries, they go to the Western world because we've made a nicer society. They can't understand why, but we've made a nicer society. There's something you can learn from that, and they come here and they say, oh, you should have Sharia law here. If we had Sharia law, our country would be as bad as the countries they came from, and you'd have nowhere to flee to.
Sharia law applies only to Muslims. It doesn't apply to me or you.
That's it.
If you look at Malaysia, they got Sharia law, and the Malaysian Muslims contribute very, very little to their economy. Most of their economy is from oil and the Chinese ethnic minority, who generate 75% of their wealth. And now Sharia law is starting to oppress the Chinese, and they're getting out of Malaysia in their hundreds of thousands, and the Malaysian economy is going down. So it does have an impact. Yes.
I've got one thing to say to you.
Have you?
You need Jesus.
You need a respite.
The way you're
Well,
acting, you need
I do
it.
very well without Jesus.
You need it. You're getting so upset.
I'm not upset. I'm enjoying myself.
He killed Jesus.
I do need to take cough sweets quite frequently, but apart from that, I'm in good shape.
Show me the Quran there for a minute.
Yes, I have got the Quran in my pocket. Muslims sometimes need to have a lesson from the Quran, so I bring it with me.
You're Jewish.
Now you are a Jewish mufti.
Typical Zionist.
Fisherman's
Cough sweet.
Arrogant motherfucker.
Fisherman's friend, the best.
Fisherman's friend.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned the Quran.
You're supposed to be fasting today.
No, I'm not a Muslim.
You're holding the Quran.
You need to convert, man. Hurry up. Hurry up and
Quran, although I'm Jewish, I respect the Quran. It came from the same place as my Jewish Torah and the same place as the Christians' Gospels.
Well, you have Muslim.
Now, my interest in the Quran is the impact it has on Jews.
Yes, okay, good.
According to the Quran, Jews can go on to the next life.
I want to say something.
But most Muslims say, oh, we're infidels, kill the Jews.
No.
So I remind them that Allah set down our Torah, and we will be judged by our Torah. We don't have to become Muslims. I'm glad you agree with that.
No.
But
wait.
also,
Not exactly correct. The Jews at the time when there wasn't a Quran would be judged by the Torah. But those at the time when there was a
Never
Quran
mind
would
the
be judged
historical
No.
gameplay, mate.
this Muslim is product, like many Muslims, of a corrupt Quran.
Corrupt.
And I'll tell you where he's gone wrong.
Yeah, where do you
Oh yeah, of course.
This
You're gonna tell me
Quran is a very good translation, but the editors add bits in brackets. In the Quran it says the Jews and the Christians have to do only three things: believe in God, pray, and give to charity. But in this Quran they add bits in brackets and follow the Quran. It's not in the Quran, but they add bits in brackets. Do you want to come close? I could show you.
Oh, here he is.
So, Quran in its original version is good. Oh God, you're back. At least learn to speak English. Learn to speak English.
You rubbish. أنت نتنياهو rubbish. أنت
The only bit
أوباما
you know in
rubbish.
English is that I'm rubbish.
You big rubbish. You liar.
And I'm a liar.
You liar.
And I'm a donkey.
You Ali Baba. You شيطان رجيم.
Oh, I'm Ali Baba now.
You أنت نتنياهو. All Iran.
This is why I need coffee.
إرهابي.
I had to shout.
قاتل المسلمين. يا ملعون يا ابن الملاعين.
Right. In the Quran, it specifically says the children of Israel will return says so in the Quran.
You liar.
It says so in the Jewish
You
Torah.
understand Quran.
It says so in the Christian Gospel.
Quran
It says so in the Muslim Quran.
about everybody.
It says in the
You
Quran,
liar.
Allah said down the Torah and the Christian Gospels and the Quran. So why are the Muslims trying to keep the children of Israel out of Israel? Why are they
Hey,
bombing
give him
them?
a chance to speak English.
Why are
man.
they?
Shut up.
He doesn't speak in English.
You liar.
Please,
Baba.
one madman at a time.
Children all day in Palestine.
Can we have a subtitle,
Just
please?
Palestinian.
I'll read you from the Quran.
Liar. Liar. Liar.
And we said to the children of Israel after him, dwell in the land. Then, when the final and last promise comes near, we shall bring you all together as a mixed crowd.
Then I need to speak to you about your death.
And that's exactly what happened. But the Muslims in Palestine and Syria and Iraq, they're trying to kick the Jews out.
They're not listening.
They are going against their own
Liar
Quran.
يا علي بابا. Liar يا نتنياهو يا خزر.
So,
Liar يا نتنياهو.
you Muslims, suicide
نتنياهو
bombers,
الملعون.
people throw missiles at civilians.
في أرض فلسطين.
You aren't
نوت
just up against the
إسرائيل.
Israeli army.
نو
You're
إسرائيل.
up against
Only
Allah as well.
فلسطين. يا أبو
Do you know?
جهل. يا أبو لهب. يا علي بابا.
It
يا
says
نتن يا ابن النتن.
in the Quran
اللهم إني صايم.
that if you go against the Quran, you will have a life of misery.
Liar. Wait.
So you Muslims
Where is
who
Israel?
are going against your Quran,
Only
trying to
Palestine.
keep the Jews out,
Only Palestine.
having a life of misery.
No,
In the Quran it says, do not kill yourself. But they send suicide bombers who kill themselves.
Only Palestine.
They're getting a life of misery.
Only Palestine. You rubbish.
In the Quran it says,
You liar.
do not exceed the limits of war.
Liar يا علي
Muhammad
بابا.
said, do not kill women, children or old man. But where do they send their missiles and their suicide bombers? To cafes, buses, markets, where they kill women, children and old men.
Liar يا ملعون.
I'd say again,
Liar.
Quran says, if
Liar.
you go against the writings of the Quran, you will have a life of misery. So,
Where is Israel?
in the Palestinian territories,
Only
they have a life of misery.
Get a map.
Only Palestine.
In the Quran, which is run by Hamas,
Israel is rubbish.
they have the worst time.
And after
In the
more.
West Bank, where it's run by Fatah,
Move.
who do recognise
Move
Israel,
Israel.
they have a
No.
much better life.
Only
Because they don't carry out
Palestine.
suicide bombings,
Palestine.
they don't fire missiles
him now.
at
يا نتن يا
civilians.
ابن النتن.
No, because he's not listening to a word
يا
I'm
نتن
saying.
يا
He
ابن
doesn't speak
النتن.
English, you fool.
So I'm not upsetting him, am I?
No, you're not.
But are you worried about the sort of audience you
Do you like my flag? I've got your flag here. I've got your Palestinian flag here.
Are you glad you asked?
Hey.
I learned from my
Why are you
mistakes.
homosexual? Why are you putting his nipple, man?
So, the reason why the Muslims are having a life of misery is they are going against their
You
Quran
liar. Only
and they are
Palestine.
bringing Islam into
Palestine.
disrepute.
Islam number one يا رابش.
If you ask many
Islam number
people in
one
the
يا
West,
علي بابا.
what do you know about Muslims? They say, well, suicide bombers, women forced to wear
You
the
liar.
burqa.
He wants
Liar.
It's because of the way Muslims
Liar
now
يا نتن.
are conducting
Liar
themselves.
يا نتن
They
يا
are
يا
giving their
وزن.
religion a bad image.
Liar يا رابش.
I feel sorry, in a minute, I feel sorry for Muhammad and the Quran
Next year.
being given a bad image by the Palestinian suicide bombers. This is the earpiece.
He wants to know if you'd like to
You
do
don't just take your earpieces out. I'm talking loud enough. Yes, hello. You can hear me.
Netanyahu.
Long live Israel.
Netanyahu.
Long live Israel.
Netanyahu.
Long live Israel.
النتن ابن
And
النتن.
long live a Palestinian state
You
next to
live.
it.
You are an idiot like
You
him.
live in
That's
Israel.
the microphone.
You live in Palestine. يا رابش.
I'm not rubbish.
Everybody say you rubbish in Palestine now. And you go.
If all the Jews in
Go
Palestine,
inshallah.
in Israel, if we're all
Go
rubbish, how
inshallah.
come every time the Arabs attack
Go
us,
قول لنتنياهو
We've won every war that has to fought against us.
أوباما
If
الملعون
we're rubbish,
وإيران
what does that say
الملعونة.
about the Arabs?
Go! إسرائيل move إن شاء الله. Rubbish
No,
whole
no, no.
country.
The Quran
Only
says
Palestine.
the children of
Only
Israel
Palestine.
will go back.
You get married to him.
Why should the Jews go
لا
against the
إله إلا
Quran?
الله. يا نتني يا وسخ.
He looks after his people better than the Palestinians look after theirs. Why is the Arab world the most godforsaken place on the planet? Oh, sorry, yes, carry on.
Why are Zionist settlers in the West Bank kidnapping children and so on?
Okay, good point. Although I stick up for Israel's right to exist, and it's a great country, it does make mistakes. One of its mistakes is building too many settlements on Palestinian land.
Only
And I speak out against it.
You liar.
And one of my badges here
Liar.
speaks out against it.
Liar. Liar.
No, you should agree with that one. Learn English.
Liar.
It's speaking out against the settlers.
Liar.
So you're against the settlers expansion?
I'm against the settler expansion. A few settlements to make up for all the Jews that are kicked out by
Abu
the Arabs
Lahab.
in 1948.
How
But
Abu
mostly,
Lahab.
yes,
kind of history is that? How many Arab villages were pushed, the population was pushed out by the Haganite?
All day kill.
No.
when, hang on, no,
All day kill.
you only get one side of the story. When the United Nations partitioned Palestine for the Palestinian Jews and the Palestinian Arabs, all the Jews in the Arab areas were kicked out. And yet today in Israel, there's 1.8 million Arabs as full citizens of Israel. And I think that those thousands of Jews who were kicked out of the area, out of the Arab area, it's good for some of them to go back. Yes?
I'm from Turkey. What do you think about the Turkish politics about Palestine?
Turkey was one of the first countries in the world to recognize Israel. That's good. Turkey is the best example of a Muslim state. It's a democracy. They've had a female prime minister. They have diplomatic relations with Israel. They criticize Israel when it's necessary. And they cooperate with Israel at the right time. So I fully support Turkey, although I do wish they would end the occupation of northern Cyprus. So I stick up for the Palestinians, so do the Turkeys. Do you know who else sticks up for the Israeli Palestinians? Israel does. Israel has built 7 universities in the Palestinian areas. Up until then they'd had none. Israel is helping the Palestinians. It's giving them electricity, running water, irrigation. Absolutely.
So what about Gaza? Did you help Gaza since 2007?
When Gaza said we want every Jew out of Israel, out of Gaza, Israel said okay. They pulled every Jew, civilian and military, out of Gaza and said, you're on your own. If ever you want to have good relations with us, we'll come back and help you.
So why you close
So
the
far
border?
they haven't.
Why you close the border since seven years? Why you not let
Okay.
the children take the
Israel said all the
What about
time,
the medicine?
all the time you have a policy of firing missiles at our civilians, we will close the border. Once you sign an agreement to stop killing our civilians, you can kill our soldiers, but not our civilians. If you sign that, we'll open the borders again.
Sign
But
what?
Hamas,
Sign what?
I just told you, an
Agreement.
agreement. Hang on, listen and you'll hear. An agreement to stop targeting civilians. That's all Hamas have got to do, but they won't. So, till now, the borders are closed, but even now, some people get from Gaza to Israeli hospitals. In fact, the wife of Hamas is in an Israeli hospital at the moment. So I think it's good policy. Why don't the friends of the Palestinians tell the Palestinians to agree to stop targeting civilians? Why don't the friends of the Palestinians encourage the Palestinians to stop targeting civilians? Wouldn't that be nice, instead of making Israel look bad all the time and inciting the Palestinians against Israel?
Yeah, give them freedom. Why not give them
They have to
country?
earn it by stopping killing civilians. That's all they've got to
Israel
do.
have a superpower. You have a soldiers. You have a chemical bomb. You have a flying. You have everything.
means-
You scared from the Palestinian people by
Democracy.
stone.
I've answered your question.
You need to be able to say
I'm going to answer your question. To me, democracy means
The big
democracy
soldier
means
in the war
he'll just keep
scaring by
shouting.
stone.
He'll just keep shouting.